So you have this amazing online course idea, but there's just one problem. How do you know if anybody wants it? How do you know if your audience wants your course? Well, this is a common problem, and you're in luck because there's a process called validation that will help you figure it out. We're going to talk about it in this video. Let's go. Hey family, welcome back and hello. If you are new here, my name is Janelle, and I help business owners to create and market online courses. So let's talk about validation. First things first, what do I mean when I say validation? It is not, and I repeat, it is not people saying nice things about you, although that's always welcome, right? In the context of your online course, validation really is a process of confirming that your idea solves a real problem that people have and that they're willing to pay money to solve that problem. So in other words, validation is figuring out if your audience wants your online course. Now, why should you do this? Why does it even matter? Well, it saves you time. Ultimately, going through the process of validating your course idea is going to help you avoid spending months creating a course that no one wants. We don't want to do that. So let's jump in to how to validate now that you know what it is and why you should do it. First things first, before we go any further, I need to say something very important, and that is the only true validation is sales. That's right. When people give you cold, hard cash or credit or Bitcoin, I guess, right? For your product. That is the true form of validation. Everything else that we do is pretty much pre-validation. So that's what we're going to talk about. Basically, how to feel out your audience and make sure that you know whether you should proceed with your idea or pivot. Now, there are 3 ways to validate your course, and it all comes down to a sexy word: research. Love it. First things first. Number 1, survey your audience. This is one of my favorite things to do, and it is great if you have an email list, you've been building your audience, you can survey them to find out more about the challenges that they're having around your course topic or this idea that you have. Find out, if they're having challenges and what those challenges are, and learn more and listen to what they have to say. You can also take this a step further. You can ask them, what they've done to solve this problem, so on and so forth. That takes me to the second method, which is something that I like to combine with surveys, and that is customer discovery interviews. Now, if you haven't heard of this term before, it is really just having 15 to 20 minutes to interview your people who fit your target customer. So what I like to do is survey my audience and then ask for permission to reach out to conduct a customer discovery interview. In that interview, you really want to get a minimum of 5 people to interview. It doesn't have to take long, 15 to 20 minutes. And you're not asking them for the sale. You're not asking them to buy your product or why they wouldn't buy. It's none of that. It's all about learning about their situation and listening. It's really about listening. What problem do they have? How is that problem causing them pain? What language do they use to describe that problem? And what have they done about it? What solutions have they tried? Listen, listen, listen. So customer discovery interviews are going to give you tons of qualitative data to help you really hone in on whether your course is a good idea, but also it helps you fine tune it. You might find out, okay, this is a real problem. I should create a course on this. Customer discovery interviews are going to help you fine tune your course. And oftentimes you get a lot of rich language that you can use in your sales copy. It's also going to tell you if you should pivot. Now, we're going to talk about one thing to watch out for when it comes to customer discovery interviews in a moment. But first, I want to talk about number 3, the third way that you can validate your course idea. And this method is great if you don't have an email list. I hear a lot of people say, well, I can't do numbers 1 and 2, right? I can't do interviews and I can't survey my audience because I don't have a list. Well, you can absolutely do this one. And what is it? It is e-stalking. So what I mean by that is joining groups, forums, communities, wherever your target audience hangs out, you want to be a part of that community and see what they're talking about. See if they are talking about something related to the problem that you want to solve. And if they are, how are they talking about it? Again, you're looking for the same things that you looked for in your customer discovery interview. So you're looking for problems, you're looking for the pain, you're looking for language they use, you're looking for solutions they've tried, all of that great stuff. And it is a perfect way to do that just by hanging out in communities where your audience is. All right, now there are 2 things to keep in mind when it comes to validating your course idea. Number 1, remember what I said earlier. The only true validation is the sale, which takes me to the second thing to remember. You know how earlier I said we were going to come back to something important about customer discovery interviews? Well, that is that most humans avoid discomfort. We're hardwired for it. So what does that have to do with validating your course idea? Well, it means that when you're doing interviews, when you're talking to people, especially talking face to face, they might say that they are interested in your course, they want to know more, they're going to buy it even, and not even buy it. It's just, it happens. You know, people are hardwired to avoid those uncomfortable situations of saying, actually, I don't think that's a good idea at all, and I don't have a use for it. So don't let it freak you out. It's why it is so important to do the third method that I shared, which is e-stalking, doing kind of that reconnaissance and getting into those communities where people are just being more natural and they're not trying to be polite. So in today's video, you learned what validation is, you learned why it's important, and you learned 3 ways to do it. Let me know down in the comments if you have heard of this before, if you've heard of validation, if you've done it. And if not, do you have any questions? I would love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. I can't wait to connect with you. Peace.